Hi, my name is Vena. I'm originally from Rea, but I live in Nandi. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, I'm John from Kornabuan, Papua. I love listening to Today FM. It rocks.
Bula, I'm Teopola.
Bula, I'm Makanisi.
We love listening to Today FM because it rocks in Ba.
Bula, my name is Isal. I've been listening to Today FM.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Tonight, Education Ministry cracks the whip on school brawls. Third phase of Help for Homes begins next week. And new designs for 2018 election voter cards.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spade.
The recent brawls between secondary school students will not be tolerated by the Ministry of Education. And if the fighting between students continues, the ministry could take some drastic measures, even including re-looking at school sporting events. Anna Ravulo reports.
After a major brawl during the Suva Zone 1 athletics meet last week, the Education Ministry is bent on looking for solutions that will put an end to such unfortunate incidents.
When we see children not holding on to their temper and engaging in physical exchange, we kind of get a bit disheartened, and then we kind of draw back and think whether we would want to have it at that level or break it down into and keep it only at divisional level.
Dr. Reddy says they want students to enjoy a national event like Fiji Finals, but the youngsters need to behave. He adds that if children are arrested for getting involved in brawls, it does not mean that they will be charged.
It may be good to arrest and counsel them by an external party, and I do hope that happens and nothing more.
I don't think they should be arrested, and they should be given counseling instead.
They should be arrested.
I think they're students, and it's important to get to the root first.
Dr. Reddy will continue to talk to students and teachers regarding this issue and is asking all schools to increase the number of teachers during co-games to supervise the children, which could help in avoiding confrontations. Anna Ravulo, FBC News.
The Education Ministry wrote off $6.8 million in 2014 as a result of unsubstantial documentation in addition to going over budget by $7 million. Education's Permanent Secretary Yowane Tiko told the Public Accounts Committee today that various anomalies can be attributed to a possible procurement scam, fraudulent officers and a change in financial system. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
Collusion, fraud, theft and laxity for proper processes were some of the words used in today's PAC hearing to describe the Education Ministry's accounts.
Unsubstantiated variance, and as a result, an amount of $6,834,145.33 was approved to be written off.
Going over the 2014 and 2015 audits, the PS responsible noted that in one instance the directors who had answers had died and the others had fled the country.
We looked at how some of the procurement officers were purchasing vehicles and all that stuff and tried to equate it with job status and all that. It doesn't add up. So that was sort of the beginning point of serious investigation.
PAC Chairman Ashnil Sudhakar queried the over-expenditure of $7 million.
Does the ministry have any of those financial management or budgeting strategies? Because this indicated there is poor budgeting that has caused an over-expenditure.
It was the reintroduction of school external examinations.
Newly appointed Auditor General Ajay Nand tried to explain some of the intricacies of balancing the books.
The element of fraud could have been existing in those. The key issue to that, chair members, is that reconciliations were not regularly done.
Proper budget planning was another term thrown into today's deliberations. Tico telling the committee that a rigorous clean-up exercise was undertaken. The end result, the 2015 records show a write-off of $49,000 and the ministry operating within budget. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
The third phase of the Help for Home initiatives will roll out from next Tuesday. This phase is aimed at assisting those that missed out previously. Rachel Nath has more.
$25 million has been set aside for the third phase of the Help for Homes initiative.
We have managed to find some savings within Head 50 itself,
and so these funds will be wired within Head 50.
Areas aimed to be covered in this phase include Tavua, Ba, Latoka, the Yasawa Group, Dakundrove and Bua.
A number of hardware companies that will be participating in it, including Kasabia's, Refrigeration Electrical, CBS, Dials, Harun's Hardware, Reki Hardware.
RC Manubai, Carpenters and Vinod Patel are yet to clear service from Phase 1 and 2. Once this is done, they will then have the green light to participate in Phase 3.
All the public needs to do is to take a valid photo ID to the centres, as will be advertised in the media, and fill in the registration form there and then. We once again would like to inform the public that when they sign the registration form, they are making a declaration that the information that they are giving is the truth, and the houses were indeed damaged during TC Winston.
In the first phase, 23,000 people were assisted, while Phase 2 saw 3,800 recipients. As for Phase 3 of the Help for Homes initiative, 6,000 people are anticipated to be assisted. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
Fiji believes the development of the Vulnerability Index is very critical for a nation. While speaking during the 20th Pacific Islands Forum Economic Ministers meeting, Minister for Economy Ayaz Said Qayyum says each nation needs to consider the measure of their country's vulnerability to natural disasters. Shireen Shivan reports.
Minister for Economy Ayaz Said Qayyum says in quest for development, countries tend to forget about the Vulnerability Index. He says Fiji experienced this last year after losing one-third of Fiji's total dollar value of all goods and services to Cyclone Winston.
Now that is an enormous setback for any country, but you can imagine that if that type of magnitude of disaster does happen, then you can have 20 years of development actually set back overnight. And you may need 20 or 30 years to recover and come back to the position that you were in.
Pacific Islands Forum Secretary General Meg Taylor says the development of a regional fund would be one way to help address the Pacific's climate financing needs.
We as a region have relied heavily on donor financing. Our leaders have called for transformative policy initiatives that will positively impact the lives of our people. It is time to explore constructive and practical regional solutions that will propel a dynamic shift away from this traditional development model.
The meeting will end tomorrow. Shireen Shivan, FBC News.
Still to come, Elections Office changes voter card features, and Hindus celebrate end of Ram Navami.
हम लोगों में रहते हैं और मिर्ची एफएम सबसे बेस्ट स्टेशन है।
हमारा नाम मेसी है, हम गोल्ड टाउन ताफुआ में रहता है और मिर्ची इज हॉट इन ताफुआ।
Hi, we Bajels. We love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
निवेश तवरा में रहता है, सुनता है यहाँ मिर्ची एफएम is very hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Fijians who want to update information on their old voter card can now replace it with an upgraded version as the registration process for the 2018 general elections continues. This as the new-look voter cards were unveiled today, with the poll venue directory also now in place for the country. Kelly Vadala reports.
There are some changes made to the new voter cards coupled with a new procedure.
Things that we wanted to improve was information on the card. The voter card, as we all are aware, is a universally accepted ID card in Fiji, and hence the need to enhance security features. We were asked to find new innovative designs of the card as well as new security features that can be built into a card that can be instantly issued. The Fijian Elections Office will also monitor the uses of the old card and the new card, because the software will now track how many times a person replaces his or her card. The card that was issued in 2012 onwards and the green voter card, which is the current voter card, will still be valid for the next general election.
FEO says they will make sure every Fijian gets easy and proper access to the voting information needed for them to make a decision in the election.
Voters will have greater access to information than ever and will be able to stay abreast of any and all developments leading up to the 2018 general election.
Supervisor of Elections Sanim says they have run out of stock of the old cards and are in the process of ordering new ones. The FEO also launched their website and a newsletter. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Meanwhile, the Fiji Elections Office has already registered more than 600,000 voters as of last month. Supervisor of Election Mohammed Saneem told FBC News they are now registering voters in the Pacific.
The total number of registered voters as at 1st of March is 603,000. We are now registering voters in the Pacific Island countries, and we are getting a good response from these voters in these countries. We will be releasing some statistics in due course.
Film Fiji is currently working on producing 4 movie productions. This was confirmed by Film Fiji Chief Executive Dallas Foon. Foon says Film Fiji currently has a busy schedule as 2 more movies are ready to be shot in the coming months. Foon says the interest for filming in Fiji has significantly grown over the past few years as Film Fiji continues to receive inquiries on a daily basis from filmmakers overseas.
There are other projects that we're working with the producers right now for the second half of the year. But up to July, the Fiji's production slate is pretty full and pretty busy. So we're looking forward to a great busy year again this year for film.
Hindus celebrated Ram Navami today, 9 days of prayer and fasting, which ended with final prayers at midday. As Shireen Shivan reports, Ram Navami marks the birth of Lord Rama.
This is the heart of Ram Navami celebrations, a joyous moment for Hindus reenacting the birth of Lord Rama.
And we have learnt a great deal. It is a great lesson for our teenagers. Especially we have seen that nowadays our teenagers are moving away from our religious functions and celebrations.
I was feeling very good when we were celebrating for 9 days celebration of Ram Navami. And I would like to thank our Mandali and the state.
Young and old gathered to be part of the religious event.
It was a successful one, and today was our last day. We celebrated the Lord Rama's birthday.
I also would like to thank the companies who have given a day holiday, a day off to the people, the Hindu belief people.
It's a festival of marking the end of the evil and bringing life to the people. Verses are recited from the holy book Ramayana, and devotees are reminded of the values Lord Rama preached.
Ram Navami has a very big significance from the ancient time to what we have now. It has victory over evil, it has truth over lie.
We have celebrated a very big Ram Navami festival. Around the globe, the Indian people staying around the globe, they all are celebrating the festival of Ram Navami.
During the 9 days of prayer, eating meat is strictly forbidden for Hindus. Shireen Shivan, FBC News.
Women of Tunulo in Thakandrove are well known for making masi or umi as it's known in their dialect. Eleanor Tarangaiviu caught up with one of the women who has made masi making a family affair, and it's earning them some decent cash.
Lucia Likudhangi never thought she'd be making masi. Having brought up in Undu Point, she was more into fishing and the sea. However, after getting married in Tunuloa, she took up the art of making masi, or umi as it's known here.
For 10 years, I have been farming the masi tree and I sell them to the masi makers. Then I realized they were making much more money than I was. So I decided to turn to making masi as well.
Everyone pitches in to help make the masi. Likudhangi, her husband and their 7 children, 2 of which are in primary school and 5 undertaking tertiary studies. Whatever money they get from selling the masi is primarily for education.
Depending on the orders I get from my stall at the Savu market, I can make 8 or 10 pieces in a month, and for $50 a small piece and up to $100 for the larger pieces.
However, Likudhangi is concerned there won't be a market for her masi soon.
It's difficult now to sell masi because almost all other places in Fiji now know how to make masi, not only us here in the Kaunrobe. So it's really difficult to get buyers at this end.
Likudhangi is proud of her handiwork, which she says helps preserve the culture and tradition of the people of Tunuloa through its unique prints and designs. Eleanor Tarangaiviu, FBC News.
Coming up later in sports, Jamie will have the latest on the Hong Kong Sevens. But before that, Rachel once again joins us with the latest in business.
Yes, Jackie, coming up in business tonight. Budget consultations a must for the Fiji Chamber of Commerce. And in growing Fiji, Makoi women now part of Buy Fijian Made campaign. Stay with us.
I'm Prafnil from Nepata and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Stanley Girdler and I'm from Australia, but I'm part Fijian from Watraki, and I love listening to Today FM Rocks.
For the best music and less talk, we tune into Today FM in Nasilai Village. Today FM rocks.
My name is Inai Ali and I'm from Ba, and I love the big breakfast on Today FM. I just love it and hope you love it too.
My name is Jay from La Paz. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Naushin and I'm from Sambeto, and I love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In business tonight, it is important for the Fiji Chamber of Commerce industry to be part of the budget process. The president of FCCI says that this can only be achieved if its members speak up about their ideas during budget consultations. Anna Ravula has more.
The FCCI president says they have put in place formats to allow their members to have their say in their submissions to the national budget.
We notice at all our forums and networking meetings that a large number of people are not happy to actually bring up issues and talk about. So we've put in place various formats using Digicel and numbers, texting numbers to work through that.
Meanwhile, the Minister for Industry says it's important for FCCI to be part of the budget consultations as they're influential.
There will be specific discussions with the private sector in May, I think it is. And in this regard, I also look forward to all the industry associations and business communities to making their submissions to the budget process and to provide the government with new ideas that can influence future products.
Koya says the government will continue to provide support and at the same time listen to what the industries have to say. Anna Ravulo, FBC News.
As mentioned by Elizabeth yesterday, here's an update with more on major market movements.
Yes, Rachel. Interesting developments from yesterday as the Reserve Bank of Australia decided to maintain the interest rate at 1.5% yesterday. Looking at major movements in the market, Australia's S&P ASX 200 index went up by 0.3%. Futures on the S&P 500 index rose 0.1%, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average advanced by 0.2%. Meanwhile, oil prices increased by 0.2%, adding to Tuesday's advance, which was the highest close for crude since March 7th. According to Reuters, the rise in oil price was supported by an unplanned production outage in the North Sea and expectations of a drawdown in U.S. crude and product inventories. Vinaka.
Thanks, Elizabeth. On to today's exchange rates. The Chinese yuan and the American dollar continues to weaken into its third day, closing at 3.24 and 47 cents respectively. Closer to home, the Australian and New Zealand dollar strengthened to close at 61 and 66 cents. Meanwhile, the PNG Kina followed suit to close at 1.34. On to the commodities market, an increase across the index as oil rose to close at 51.3 a barrel. Gold followed a similar trend to close at 1,257, and silver rose as well to close at $18.29 an ounce.
Makoi Women Vocational Center will now be brand ambassadors of the Fijian Sewn brand. The Vocational Center says this is a great boost to them as now their products will get top-level recognition. Sainyani Bola reports.
The milestone achievement by the Makoi Vocational Center today will enable its students to showcase their crafts around the world with the Fijian Made logo stamped on it.
We will deliver, hopefully, and timely also in terms of what we can to bolster the Fijian emblem, the Fijian trade, and to show the world that, you know, these women as well as anybody else have the capacity and the capability to produce good quality stuff. So
the Buy Fijian Made campaign is an initiative by the government for all Fijians to create a very resilient and strong economy.
The campaign has also proven through efforts of all of you and stakeholders like you that Fijian-made products are of very high quality, very high standards, and we can position ourselves to compete in the regional markets, in the global markets, on price effectiveness, on quality, on standards, and also international best practices.
The Makoi Women Training Center is currently training 51 students with more than 600 applications awaiting approval. The center is currently partnering with the government to help community women contribute to Fiji's economy. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
And that's it from Business Tonight. Now to sports, and here's Jamie with the latest.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening in sports after the break. Sevens legend tips traditional rivals as top bets for Hong Kong. And table tennis sisters ready to roll. This and more coming up.
Warong na Radio Fiji One. Bulan na rango pina may korabili nandi. Autotalitaka na warongo na Radio Fiji One na programo ni mas masu na mataklaylay.
Oya ochone kurinambila mai bunangoru na makete hinga toka kwe kido talitakini na warongo na Radio Fiji One gene na domo iviti.
Na Radio Fiji One na domo iviti na vonga ni BNN.
Sevens legend Waisile Serevi says New Zealand and Fiji are the teams to watch at the Hong Kong Sevens this weekend. The World Rugby Hall of Famer, who is also a tournament ambassador, is in Hong Kong doing his bit to promote the sport. The Vodafone Fiji Sevens team had a scrimmage session with Scotland this morning as it begins to round up preparations for the Hong Kong tournament. The national side has been in Hong Kong for the last 7 days and have also played test matches against the host team. Today's run was the team's last hit-out session where coach Gareth Baber tested set pieces and lineouts. Baber is expected to name his final 12-member squad for the tournament tomorrow. Leilene Memorial School is out to create history in the Vodafone Secondary School Rugby League Under-19 final. The Ndabu Levu School is chasing its first Under-19 title and is asking friends, family, fans and former students to come out and support them in its final clash against Ratu Kandavu Levu School on Saturday.
We really want the family of Ndabu Levu to come next week for the final, and the supporters, we need you behind us.
Sisters Sally and Gracie are ready to fly the Fiji flag at the ITTF Oceania Junior Championship that will be held in the country this month. The Yee sisters have attended various competitions locally and internationally and are two of Fiji's top female players. Militavanga reports.
Ranked number 2 and one-time Olympiad, Sally is oozing with confidence ahead of the tournament.
Been training every day and training hard lately.
The 15-year-old will be competing in 5 events under the Oceania Junior Championship and also the Oceania Cup and dominate the Fijian courts.
More pressure than playing overseas because people in Fiji, I'll be playing for my country and they'll be here watching me and supporting me.
Following in her older sister's footstep, 14-year-old Gracie will be the youngest player to participate in the event.
I think I was 9 and a young player who was 15 motivated me. She was a very good player and she inspired me a lot and I wanted to be like her.
Yee, who has been to many international events, is ready to showcase her talent.
I've been preparing well, I've been training hard after school, like 3 hours a day. It's very hard for me because I'm young and I'm always nervous. Yeah, but I'm getting it.
The competition starts on Thursday next week. Melitawanga, FBC Sports.
With just 15 days till the 2017 Coca-Cola Games, the Powerade National Torch Relay continues its journey, making a stop in Suva today. The growing excitement for the annual Fiji finals was evident when the game's torch visited the defending boys champions in Flagstaff. Meli Tavanga was at the school and filed this report.
Standing with pride in welcoming the torch into the school this afternoon, defending boys champions Maris Brothers High School played host to the flame.
We were quite happy to receive the torch today. We were told about it a few days ago that the torch will come, and the boys were quite ready to receive it.
Flagstaff boys, as usual, have a plan to defend their title.
Every athlete is just as important in any game, whether it's a running, it's a track event, or the field event. But we are ready to go out there and defend our title.
The National Torch Relay Team have so far visited schools in Western and the Northerners.
We have almost, out of the 76 schools, we've got about 50 schools done already. And now this is just a silver leg of the relay, and hopefully by next week we'll be in Mbanga for the very first time before the champions from last year will take the flame from Kukula Factory to the stadium.
The National Torch will stay overnight in Marist before making its way to Sacred Heart College at 10 a.m. tomorrow, and will then visit DAV College and John Wesley College before resting at Nambua Secondary School. Meli Tavanga, FBC Sports.
That's it from sports this evening. Angie joins you later on with weather, and in our new media segment, is Facebook trying to imitate Snapchat, or are its new features just a coincidence? Take a look after the break and you be the judge.
Warong na Radio Fiji One.
Bulan arango fina wa korviri nandi, autotalitaka na warongo na Radio Fiji One. Na programa ni mas masu na mataklailai.
Oya ochone kurinambila mai Bunangoru na makete hinga toka kwe bido talitakini na barorongo na Radio Fiji One gene na domo iviti.
Na Radio Fiji One na domo iviti na vonga ni BNN.
Facebook is becoming Snapchat. Well, that's the perception around the world. Facebook is bringing glitter beards and cartoon sloth hats to the phone, an important business endeavor it takes very seriously. And it's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. The hump day it is. Well, it was such a beautiful day with clear skies and there was no sign of any rain in the daytime. It was certainly the day to play sports or do, in fact, anything outdoors. Now let's check out what the day was like in the west. It was partly sunny with temps in the low 30s. Bar rose to 33 degrees. It must have been a very hot day. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, though it was hot and sunny, but the low-hanging clouds with sunlit skies just made the day so attractive. And up in Vanua Levu, sunny spells with brisk winds was the weather pattern. However, few patchy rain also pushed in and more showers are expected for overnight. At sea, easterly winds 15 to 20 knots with moderate to rough seas. And for the tides, the next low tide tonight will be at 8:21 with a high tide tomorrow morning at 2:41. Tomorrow's sunrise will be at 6:14. And also tomorrow, skies will go from partly to mostly sunny in some areas of the country. And tomorrow's temps, Nandi and Lautoka will be hot with highs of 32 degrees and lows of 24. And looking further on to Friday and the weekend, the weather is not looking good for now according to the forecast, as there is heaps of showers, strong winds and thunderstorms in store, but I will keep you updated. And that, Jackie, wraps up FBC weather for tonight.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fiji Impulse today, we asked, can Fiji make it 3 in a row at the Hong Kong Sevens?
I expect Fiji to make it 3 in a row, but it's going to be tough, but Fiji has a lot of support.
Our blessing and our wishes with Fiji team, and we wish to bring the cup back to Fiji.
Yeah, I think there's a possibility Fiji can win the Hong Kong if they look to their past mistakes and learn from it.
I think so. If they
perform very well, and their dish is very good. And if they support each other in every places, then they can win again that.
I'm confident Fiji can defend the title against.
Yes, definitely Fiji has the potential to win 3 in a row. Since the favourites of the tournament, South Africa has lost 2 of its major players who made an impact in the last wins in other tournaments.
Recapping the main stories, Education Ministry cracks the whip on school brawls. Third phase of help begins next week, and Sevens legend Sarevi backs Fiji and New Zealand for Hong Kong Sevens. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question now, we are asking, should stern action be taken against drunkards on streets? Visit our FPC website to answer. Before we go on to our shot of the day, the beautiful scene at Navaki Road in Nandi, sent in by Sunil Nand. What a scene to drive through in the West. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. Or you can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. Until next time, from the team and I, good night.
कमल रोशनी है, हम लोगों में रहते हैं और मिर्ची FM सबसे बेस्ट स्टेशन है।
हमारा नाम मेसी है, हम गोल्ड टाउन तापुआ में रहता है और मिर्ची इज हॉट इन तापुआ।
Hi, we Bad Hills. We love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
निवेश तावरा में रहता हूँ, सुनता है यहाँ मिर्ची FM is very hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.